Fellas, let's get real for a second. You can make her laugh, you can make her smile, you can even make her fall in love with you, but here's the cold truth. If she doesn't respect you, the relationship is already over. It just hasn't ended yet. Respect is the invisible glue that holds attraction together. Without it, love feels empty, communication feels forced, and your role as a man slowly fades into the background. And here's the kicker: respect doesn't disappear overnight. It erodes piece by piece every time you make certain mistakes that you might not even realize you're making. Mistakes that quietly tell her, this man isn't strong enough, confident enough, or valuable enough for me to admire. So, in today's video, I'm going to break down the three biggest things that instantly destroy a woman's respect for you, backed by psychology, real life examples, and lessons you can apply today. If you've ever wondered why she pulls away, loses interest, or treats you like an option instead of a priority, this is for you. Because once you understand these three things, you'll never look at relationships the same way again. So stick with me until the end, because the third one, that's the silent killer of respect that almost every man falls victim to. Main body one, being too available, the death of value. Imagine this: you meet a woman, you like her, and you want to show her that you care. So you text back instantly. You drop everything the moment she calls. You cancel plans with your friends just to see her. On the surface, it feels like loyalty, right? Devotion, effort. But in her psychology, something very different is happening. She's not thinking, wow, what a dedicated man. She's thinking, if his world revolves around me this much, does he even have a world of his own? Here's the harsh reality: what is easily available loses its value. Think about it. Why do diamonds hold such a high value? Because they're rare, difficult to find, and not every man can afford one. If diamonds were lying on every street corner, nobody would care about them. The same principle applies in relationships. When you're always available, always chasing, always prioritizing her above yourself, you strip yourself of rarity. You show her, without words, that you're willing to sacrifice your time, your purpose, and your boundaries just to keep her around. And in her mind, that screams weakness. Female psychology insight. Psychologists call this the scarcity principle. The idea that humans assign more value to things that are rare or difficult to obtain. Women are wired to admire men who stand firm in their own world, who have a mission that doesn't collapse the moment she enters the room. Story driven example. Let's say two men are dating the same type of woman. Man A cancels his gym sessions, ignores his goals, and picks up the phone every single time she calls, even if he's in the middle of work. Man B, he likes her, yes. He spends time with her, yes, but he doesn't sacrifice his priorities. If he's working, he calls back later. If he has plans with his friends, he doesn't ditch them. He's polite, he's present, but he's not a pushover. Who do you think she respects more? Who do you think she'll fight harder to keep? Exactly, man B, motivational hook. Fellas, here's the truth. A woman cannot respect a man whose entire identity revolves around her. She wants to be part of your world, not the center of it. She wants to admire you, not control you. If you want her respect, stop being endlessly available. Build your world so strong that she feels lucky to be part of it. 2. Failing to set boundaries, the silent respect killer. Now, the second mistake is one most men don't even realize they're making: failing to set boundaries. Let me ask you a question. If she crosses a line, talks down to you in public, flirts with other guys in front of you, or constantly disrespects your time, what do you do? Do you stay quiet, hoping she'll change on her own? Or do you calmly but firmly set the record straight? See, here's the problem. Too many men stay silent. They tolerate behavior that deep down they know isn't acceptable. Why? Because they're afraid of losing her. They think, if I confront her, she might get upset. If I set boundaries, she might leave. But let me tell you what really happens. When you don't set boundaries, she loses respect for you. Not immediately, but slowly. Because in her psychology, boundaries equal strength. Boundaries equal self respect. And if you can't even respect yourself enough to stand up for what you believe in, how can she respect you? Female psychology insight. In evolutionary psychology, women are attracted to men who display leadership and authority, not dominance in a toxic way, but the ability to stand firm. When you show that you can enforce boundaries, you're signaling that you're capable of protecting her, protecting yourself, and protecting the relationship. Story driven example. Picture this: a woman constantly cancels plans at the last minute. Man A says nothing. He shrugs, maybe even apologizes for being too pushy, and keeps waiting around for her. Man B, on the other hand, calmly says, "Listen, I value my time. If you can't respect it, then maybe this isn't going to work." Guess who she'll test less? Guess who she'll respect more? The answer is obvious: motivational hook. Boundaries aren't about controlling her, they're about controlling yourself. They're about having standards so clear that anyone in your life, whether it's a woman, a friend, or even a coworker, knows exactly what you will and won't tolerate. And believe me, the moment you enforce them, people start treating you differently. 3. Neglecting your purpose. The ultimate attraction killer. Now we come to the third and most dangerous mistake: losing yourself in the relationship and neglecting your purpose. This is the silent killer of respect because it doesn't happen overnight. It happens gradually. You meet her, you start dating, things get serious. And slowly, without realizing it, you start putting your goals on the back burner. The gym doesn't matter as much, your career slows down. The dreams you once chased, they're now someday projects because right now, she's your main focus. On the surface, it feels like love. But in her psychology, it feels like this: if he abandons his mission for me, then he's not the man I thought he was. Because here's the truth: a woman doesn't fall in love with you for the way you orbit around her. She falls in love with you for the way you chase your purpose. She admires the fire in your eyes when you're building something, achieving something, pursuing something bigger than both of you. Female psychology insight. Women are biologically wired to seek security and strength. A man with purpose provides both because he's not easily shaken, not easily distracted, not easily broken. But when you abandon that purpose, you're signaling weakness. And weakness over time kills respect. Story driven example. Think about two men again. Man A had dreams of starting his own business, but once he got into a relationship, he put it aside. Now his conversations revolve only around her. His time revolves only around her. And his sense of identity is tied only to her approval. Man B, he loves his woman, yes. He spends time with her, yes. But he never abandons his mission. His business, his fitness, his growth, those remain priorities. She sees him wake up early to grind, to push, to create. She sees him chase something bigger. Who do you think she respects more? Who do you think she'll never take for granted? Exactly. Man B, motivational hook. Fellas, never forget this. Your purpose is your power. A woman wants to join your journey, not replace it. If you let go of your mission, you let go of the very thing that made you attractive in the first place. Expanding on point one: being too available. Now let's dive deeper into why being too available destroys respect. See, there's a huge difference between showing effort and showing desperation. Effort is when you show interest, you plan dates, you care about her feelings. Desperation is when you erase your own identity just to win her approval. Here's a psychological truth: people don't respect those who put them on a pedestal. They respect those who hold themselves as equals, or better yet, leaders. The paradox of availability. When you're always available, you might think you're being the ideal boyfriend. But in reality, you're robbing her of something crucial: the chase. Human beings, especially women, are wired to value what they have to work for. If she knows you're always one call away, one text away, always ready to drop everything for her, she has nothing left to chase. Female psychology study reference. Social psychologists often point to the reward uncertainty principle, the idea that people are more drawn to unpredictable rewards than predictable ones. In dating terms, this means a woman will feel more excitement and attraction toward a man who isn't always available because she's never quite sure when he'll give her that attention. That uncertainty creates excitement. That excitement creates respect. Story: The Two Friends. Let me tell you a quick story. Two guys, let's call them Adam and Ryan, liked the same woman. Adam texted her constantly. Good morning, messages every day, compliments every hour, and he'd get upset if she didn't reply fast enough. Ryan, on the other hand, texted her too, but not excessively. He'd message her when he was free, not in the middle of chasing his goals. Sometimes he'd take a few hours to reply, not to play games, but simply because he was busy building his own life. Guess which guy she respected more? Adam came across as needy, predictable, and desperate. Ryan came across as valuable, confident, and worth chasing. Why? Because availability without scarcity kills desire. Lesson for men. Gentlemen, here's the lesson. Don't mistake constant availability for love. True love doesn't demand you abandon yourself. You want her to respect you, build your own life, have your own friends, your own hobbies, your own mission. Let her feel that she's part of something great, not the only thing that defines your existence. When you create scarcity, you create value, and value commands respect. Expanding on point two, failing to set boundaries. All right, let's go even deeper into the second mistake: failing to set boundaries. Boundaries aren't about being controlling, they're about defining your worth. They tell the world, this is how I expect to be treated. This is what I will accept, and this is what I won't. And here's the beautiful thing: women may test your boundaries, but deep down, they actually want you to have them. Why? Because boundaries create structure, and structure creates safety. Why boundaries equal respect? In female psychology, a man who sets and defends boundaries sends a powerful subconscious signal. I respect myself, and I won't let anyone, no matter how attractive, walk all over me. Without boundaries, you're like a house with no doors. Anyone can walk in, move furniture around, and leave a mess. And eventually, nobody takes that house seriously. Story: The relationship without boundaries. Let's say a guy named David starts dating a woman who sometimes flirts with other men when they go out. David notices it, but he says nothing. He tells himself, if I bring it up, she'll think I'm insecure. I don't want to upset her. Weeks go by, she keeps doing it. And each time David's silence tells her, this man won't stand up for himself. What happens? She doesn't respect him. She might still like him, she might still spend time with him, but deep down, she doesn't admire him. Now imagine if David calmly said, listen, I don't compete for attention. If you want to be with me, then be with me. If not, that's your choice. Boom. Suddenly the dynamic shifts. She sees strength. She sees self-respect. And even if she doesn't admit it out loud, she feels it inside. Lesson for men, you've got to understand boundaries aren't ultimatums. They're standards. And standards are what separate a man who is respected from a man who is ignored. The moment you start enforcing boundaries, something magical happens. People stop testing you. They start treating you with respect. And women, believe it or not, find you more attractive. Because deep down, no woman wants to lead a man. She wants a man who can lead himself. Expanding on point three, neglecting your purpose. Now let's dig into the third and most destructive mistake: losing your purpose. This is the one that destroys not just her respect, but your own self respect. And once you lose that, everything else crumbles. Why purpose is irresistible. When you first meet a woman, what attracts her most? It's not just your looks, it's not just your charm, it's the fire in your eyes when you talk about your passions. It's the way you move when you're chasing something bigger than yourself. That fire, that mission is magnetic. But here's the danger. Once you fall in love, it's easy to let that mission fade. Suddenly, your goals take a back seat. The gym doesn't matter as much. Your career slows down. You're no longer chasing greatness, you're just chasing her. And at first, she might like the attention. But eventually, she starts to wonder, where did that fire go? Where did that man go? And when that question enters her mind, respect starts dying. Story: The Lost Dreamer. Take a man named Eric. Before his relationship, he dreamed of starting his own business. He was passionate, driven, and ambitious. His girlfriend admired him for that, but after a year together, Eric put all that aside. His life revolved around Netflix nights, constant texting, and endless attention. Slowly, his identity shifted from a man on a mission to a man in a relationship. Guess what happened? She still liked him, but she no longer admired him. And without admiration, respect evaporated. Lesson for men, gentlemen. Let me make this clear. Your purpose must always come first. Not because you don't care about her, but because without purpose, you're not truly you. And without the real you, the man who dreams, the man who fights, the man who builds, there's nothing for her to admire. A woman doesn't fall in love with your attention. She falls in love with your ambition. She doesn't respect you for abandoning your mission. She respects you for pursuing it relentlessly. So here's the golden rule. Never lose yourself in the relationship, because the moment you do, you lose her respect. Deeper insights into point one, being too available. Now let's go even further into the psychology behind availability. When you're always available, you're essentially teaching her this: my time is not valuable. My life is not full. I'm waiting for you to fill it. But here's the thing about respect. People respect what's scarce. And time, gentlemen, is the scarcest resource you have. Think about this. If a man of high value, say an athlete, entrepreneur, or leader, spends time with a woman, that time is special. Why? Because it's rare. Because his schedule is full. Because his mission comes first. On the other hand, if you're constantly free, constantly waiting by the phone, constantly chasing, your time becomes ordinary. And women subconsciously know this. The balance of effort. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you should play games or act cold. Effort is still required. But the difference between effort and over-availability is this. Effort says, I like you, but I value myself too. Over-availability says, I like you more than I value myself. And the second one will always kill respect. Deeper insights into point two, boundaries in action. Now let's take boundaries to the next level. Boundaries aren't just about saying no when she disrespects you. They're about defining your standards in every area of your life. Ask yourself, do you allow people to waste your time? Do you allow disrespect from friends, coworkers, or family? Do you say yes when you want to say no? Because here's the truth. A woman watches how you live. If you don't enforce boundaries with yourself and others, she won't believe you'll enforce them with her. How to set boundaries without fear. A lot of men avoid setting boundaries because they're afraid of conflict. But setting boundaries doesn't have to mean fighting or being aggressive. Here's how you do it. Be calm. Never set boundaries in anger. Speak with clarity, not emotion. Be clear. Don't hint. Don't dance around it. State your boundary directly. Be consistent. If you enforce a boundary once but ignore it later, it loses power. Example. If she constantly cancels plans last minute, say, I value my time. If you can't commit, then I'll stop making plans. Simple as that. No anger, no drama, just strength. And trust me, that strength will command respect. Deeper insights into point three, staying on purpose. Now let's dive into purpose because this one is absolutely non negotiable. Gentlemen, purpose is not just about career or money, it's about mission. It's the fire that gets you up in the morning, the reason you push yourself, the vision of the man you're becoming. And here's the reality: women are wired to respect men who are mission driven. Why? Because a man with a mission is unshakable. He's grounded. He's attractive not just for what he gives her, but for who he is. The purpose test. Here's a truth bomb. Every woman, consciously or unconsciously, will test whether you're a man of purpose. How? By pulling your focus away from it, by seeing if you'll drop your mission for her. And the moment you do, she loses respect. Because she realizes your purpose was never real, it was conditional. But when you stay on track, when you keep chasing your goals, when you make her part of your journey instead of your whole journey, that's when she truly admires you. Practical guide: how to keep her respect. Now that we've covered the three killers of respect, let's flip the script. How do you build and maintain respect in a relationship? Here are 5 practical steps you can start today. Guard your time. Don't give it away cheaply. Prioritize your goals, your health, your friendships. Let her see that your time is valuable. Communicate boundaries clearly. Don't wait until you're angry. From the beginning, make it clear what you will and won't accept. Stay on mission. No matter how much you love her, never stop building your dreams. Let her see that she's with a man of vision. Show strength through actions, not words. Respect isn't earned by talking big. It's earned by living with consistency. Balance love with self-respect. Love her, yes. Be kind, yes. But never sacrifice your identity. Because once you lose yourself, you lose her admiration. Mini stories to drive the point home. Let me share 3 quick stories that illustrate everything we've discussed. Story 1, the always available guy. Mike was the sweetest guy, always texting, always calling, always available. At first, his girlfriend loved it, but within months, she grew distant. Why? Because she started to feel like his mother, not his partner. She respected his kindness, but not his strength. Story 2, the no boundaries guy. Chris let his girlfriend talk down to him in front of friends. He laughed it off, thinking it was no big deal. But every time he stayed silent, her respect shrank. Eventually, she left, saying, "I just don't see you as a man I can look up to." Story 3, the purpose-driven man. Daniel was ambitious. He was loving, yes, but he never let go of his goals. He included his girlfriend in his journey, but his mission always came first. Guess what? She never disrespected him. In fact, she admired him more as time went on. Conclusion: the respect blueprint. Gentlemen, let's bring it all together. If you take nothing else from this video, remember this: she'll never respect you if you make yourself too available, fail to set boundaries, or abandon your purpose. Respect isn't something you demand. It's something you command through the way you live, the way you carry yourself, and the standards you refuse to compromise on. So here's your challenge. Starting today, protect your time, set your boundaries, stay on your mission, because when you do, something powerful happens. She not only respects you, she admires you. She feels lucky to be with you. And you, my friend, step into the role you were meant to play. Not as a boy chasing approval, but as a man commanding respect. And trust me, once you taste that level of respect, you'll never settle for less again.